Right now, at this very moment, millions of office workers around the world are reluctantly opening their eyes to the sound of their alarm clocks. They drag themselves to work, spend their days watching their bosses' every move, and live paycheck to paycheck. Why? Because if they quit their jobs today, their monthly income would immediately disappear. But there are people in this world who live completely different lives. They wake up whenever they want, do only what they love, and live without financial worries. Their secret? They discovered the magic of compound interest early in life. In 1965, there was a young investor in Omaha, Nebraska. His name was Warren Buffett. At 35 years old, he bought shares of his investment company, Berkshire Hathaway, for $18 per share, and he never sold those shares. After 58 years, how much do you think that $18 became? An astounding $540,000. That's over a 30,000x return. This is the magic of compound interest. It seems insignificant at first, but over time it explodes exponentially. You can understand why Einstein called compound interest the most powerful force in the universe. Compound interest doesn't just add interest to your principal, it adds interest to your interest, growing like a snowball. Let me give you an example. Say 25-year-old manager Kim invests $500 monthly at a 7% annual return. By age 65, after 40 years, he will have actually invested $240,000. But thanks to the magic of compound interest, his account will contain an incredible $1.3 billion. In contrast, manager Park, who starts at 45, invests the same $500 monthly but only has 20 years. He invests $120,000 but ends up with only $260 million. Same conditions, but a 20-year difference in starting time creates a gap of over $1 billion. So why do most people try to get rich by just working harder? No matter how hard you work at your job, your salary only increases linearly, from $30,000 to $40,000 to $50,000, just gradual increases. But investment returns grow exponentially. Looking at the U.S. stock market, the S&P 500 has averaged about 10% annual returns over the past 100 years. If you had invested $1,000 in 1923, it would be worth an incredible $26 million in 2023. That's a 26,000x return. Here's another Warren Buffett story. In 1988, he invested $1.3 billion in Coca-Cola stock. Many people mocked him, asking, "Why invest so much money in a soda company?" But 35 years later, that investment is worth $25 billion, nearly a 20x return. Buffett said, "Time is the friend of the wonderful business, the enemy of the mediocre." But here's the important part. The magic of compound interest requires patience. During the 2008 financial crisis, many investors panicked and sold their stocks. But those who held firm during that time now possess enormous wealth. Look at Tesla. The stock that was $17 when it went public in 2010 exceeded $1,200 in 2021. If you had invested $1,000 then, it would be worth $70,000 now. But you would have had to endure countless crashes along the way. Amazon's case is even more dramatic. The stock that was $18 when it went public in 1997 is now over $3,000. That's a 166 return. But when the dot-com bubble burst, the stock plummeted 94%. Only those who didn't sell then could reap today's enormous profits. This is the essence of financial freedom. Financial freedom means no longer needing to work for money. It's a state where your money works for you. While you sleep, while you're on vacation, many people ask, "Isn't real estate safer?" Of course, real estate is a good investment. But the advantage of stock investing is accessibility. Real estate requires hundreds of thousands of dollars to start, but you can begin stock investing with just $100 a month. In fact, if a Korean office worker had invested $1,000 monthly in the U.S. S&P 500 index starting in 2000, their $276,000 investment would be worth about $800,000 now after 23 years. Nearly triple. But why don't most people know this simple truth? First, It's human nature to want immediate gratification. Compound interest seems really insignificant at first. When you invest $500 monthly and earn $35 in the first year, it's easy to think, what's the point? Second, there's fear of volatility. Stocks go up and down, which makes people nervous. But the long-term characteristic of stock markets is upward movement. Third, there's a vague fear of seemingly complex investing. But long-term investing is actually simpler than you think. You just need to buy good index funds or blue-chip stocks and hold them for a long time. Warren Buffett said, "Someone's sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago." Compound investing is the same. You need to start right now to taste the fruits 20 or 30 years from now. Ultimately, if you want financial freedom, the choice is clear. Will you live as a salary worker forever? Or will you use the magic of compound interest to make money work for you? Time is a resource given equally to everyone, but the results are vastly different depending on how you use that time. The magic of compound interest only reveals its secrets to those who have time and patience. Right now, at this moment, your choice can completely change your life 20 years from now. Trust in the magic of compound interest and start today. The day will surely come when your future free self will. Thank you for today's decision.